Okay. Good evening. My name is Supriya Janba Chowdhury and my school name is Varli Face Municipal Secondary School. Today I'm going to start the third chapter that is India's defense system. What we are going to study in this chapter, we are studying about the India's defense system. Okay, so now I'm starting. As we know that in the last chapter we studied India's foreign policy, and we have also studied that all the countries are the members of the international system. No country is completely self-sufficient or the self-reliant. There is a mutual dependence in the international system. In this context, every country has to decide the nations with which it should be friendly and in which bloc it should participate or what position it should take in the international relations. So foreign policy plays an important role in the international relations. Then we have also studied about the national interest. So national interest, what it means? National interest implies the means by which the independence and sovereignty of the country are safeguarded. Similarly, national interest also includes the efforts to achieve the economic development and steps to increase power and influence in the world politics. Similarly, the protection of our country's independence, sovereignty, and integrity is the highest national interest. It means defense. Now, national interest and the foreign policy are closely connected. Why? Because national interest is fostered through the foreign policy. National interest is considered to be the goal, and foreign policy is considered to be the means to achieve it. Goals of the nations change with the changing times. Accordingly, the foreign policy changes to suit the national interest. Then we have also studied the determinants or the factors. There are total 5 factors of the foreign policy, like the geographical factors, political system, economy, national leadership, administrative factors. Now, what we have studied in the geographical factors, we have studied that the location, size, topography, coastal line, availability of the natural resources, all these factors determine the foreign policy of the country. Then we have also studied the political system, and in that we have studied that the political party which gets the maximum number of votes, that political party becomes the ruling party, and the party which does not get the maximum number of votes, that party becomes the opposition party. So the opposition parties try to control the foreign policy by raising the questions in the parliament, and it also works, and also keep a watch on the working of the ruling party. Then we have also studied about the economy, means if a country is having a strong economy, is less dependent on the others, and if the country is having weak economy, is more dependent on the others. Then the national leadership, I have also told you that the president, prime minister, defense minister, foreign minister, home ministers, all these people are called as the national leaders because they formulate the foreign policy of the country. And Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru contributed a lot in making the foreign policy of India. And then we have also studied about the administrative factors. In that, I told you that Ministry of the External Affairs, the Foreign Secretary, ambassadors in other countries, and the diplomatic officers are the administrative factors, but the final decisions are taken by the Prime Minister. After this, we have also studied the objectives of the foreign policy. For example, not to compromise about the geographical boundaries of the nation, then to protect the unity and integrity of the country, to protect the interest of India's citizens, those who are living in other countries with the help of the Indian embassies. Then to ensure that the defense and the security of India is not affected while maintaining friendly relations with the neighboring countries. This is one of the most important objectives of the foreign policy. Then we have also studied about the 2 phases, that is the early phase from 1947 till 1991, and the second period, that is from 1991 till today. That is early phase. In early phase, what we have studied? We have studied that Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he shaped India's foreign policy of the non-alignment. Then he opposed the colonialism through India's foreign policy. He took an internationalist position and gave priority to global peace and security. So, global peace, freedom, and security, these are the main principles of the non-alignment movement. Similarly, India's foreign policy aimed at self-reliance. India decided to improve the relations with the countries because India has already accepted the non-alignment policy, so it decided to improve its relations with the countries in Asia. So this concept of regional development later expanded to include the countries of Africa also. And this Asian unity found expression in the concept of so as I told earlier, peace and freedom became the fundamental principles of the non-aligned policy. The technology also required for strengthening India's defense was imported from the Soviet Union, France, and the West Germany because it's a responsibility of each and every country to safeguard its own national security. So, for updating, for safeguarding the national security, technology is must. So, technology required for strengthening India's defense was imported from the Soviet Union, like France and West Germany. Then, in the decade of 1970s, India had risen as a powerful regional power in the South Asia. By conducting nuclear tests in the year 1974, which was conducted in Pokhran, which is located in Rajasthan. And at that time, Indira Gandhi was the prime minister. And we have studied. And India had also proved her nuclear capability. Then India also became the part of the SAARC, that is the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, and to increase the cooperation among the South Asian countries. Then India also initiated a dialogue to improve the relations with China. India also started interaction